A trucker convoy. I was a little concerned about this, frankly, when I first read about it. You know, they did this up in Canada, 2 years ago, as I recall? And, part of it extended into the United States. And then when that happened, we discovered that actually there were Russian trolls behind this thing that, stirring this up. And now it's the Take Our Border Back convoy here in the United States. And we're going to bring semis and trucks from all over America down to the southern border. Right. David Gilbert writing about this over at Wired.com. They claimed that there would be 40,000 trucks. Well, so far, the convoy started in Jacksonville, Florida, and when they started, only 20 vehicles had shown up. None of them were trucks. They've got one pickup truck that's covered with MAGA paraphernalia, but issuing a statement that the convoy would not be heading to the border at all, but going instead to Quemado, a tiny town in Catron, Texas. So, number one, now they're not going to the border. Number two, they're organizing all this on Telegram. Now, Telegram was started by Russians, if my recollection is correct. Excuse me, I may be wrong on that. I really need to look into this, but anyhow, over on Telegram, the buzz that's going on is that we're walking into a trap, guys. This is January 6th all over again. The FBI is putting this thing on. The leaders of our convoy might even be the FBI. Who knows? And it's like, the whole right-wing thing has just evolved into paranoia. One of the guys who's most active in this group over on Telegram was also a member of the Rise Above movement. This is a hard right street gun, neo-Nazi street fighting group that took part in the neo-Nazi rally in Charlottesville that led to the death of Heather Heyer. They had a prayer from their pastor linked to the church militant and headed off I-85, heading for Texas. Almost immediately, one of the vehicles in the convoy got lost. Later, the meeting quickly descended into an argument about where they were going to be sleeping. A few hours into the trip, the lead bus pulled over onto the highway shoulder and kicked out one of the people on board who had traveled on his own from Washington, D.C. It was unclear exactly why he was ejected, but the man who is part of the group that protests daily at the jails in D.C. over the January 6th people, he was left stranded in Florence, South Carolina without his wallet. According to the live stream, people live streaming it were responding to the questions from some of the thousands of people watching. Many of the questions were about the conspiracy that the convoy is a setup by the federal government to entrap patriots. Over on one of the group's chats on Discord, this will end up loaded with trolls and feds in no time, wrote one member a week ago. Another wrote, I hope it's not another J6 trap. Right. And on Monday, one of the cars that started on the road, organizers issued a press release claiming, quote, groups are forming to infiltrate the convoy. It's got to be tough trying to do anything when you're just, like clinically paranoid and hopelessly weird. They're calling themselves now God's Army. And they were promising to bring 700,000 trucks to the southern border. That would be 1 out of every 6 trucks in America. Ain't going to happen. So far, they have no trucks. There are 4 million semis in America, but like I said, 1 out of 6? No, I don't think so. And 700,000, it's just, this is another example of what happens when you have a political party, in this case the GOP, the Republican Party, that has a very unpopular foundation to what it does. I mean, the Republican Party is basically, we're here to support billionaires with more tax cuts and deregulation and gutting the Internal Revenue Service. And we're here to support giant corporations, allow them to have monopolies, and prevent them from being regulated so that the oil and gas companies can dump more pollution in the air and the mining companies can put more poison in our rivers and oceans, et cetera, et cetera. When that's all you've got, what you end up with is crazy stuff like this.
You're listening to the Thom Hartmann Program. Call 202-808-9925.
You would think they would at least have some interest in creating a semblance of governance, but no.